Hello students, welcome to our revision class of soil part 2. In our previous class you learnt about the soil and its importance, and you also learnt the components of the soil, and you discussed about the formation of soil. Here you will be learning about the types of the soil. Okay. When we talk about the first topic is of types of the soil. The first one, here you have three types of soil that to be discussed. The first one is sandy soil and clay soil and loamy soil. So, sandy soil with too much of sand and very little of clay is called as sandy soil. As you know, the soil is very loose and rough. It cannot hold any water and it quickly dries. So, what happens here? Plant cannot grow here well. So sandy soil is used for construction purpose only, and it is not suitable for any plant growth. Next one, sandy soil can be seen in, can you tell me which part can you see the sandy soil? Of course. So sandy soil can be seen in beach area or desert area. So these are the two types where you can see sandy soil. Next we are going to talk about clay soil. Clay soil is the soil with lot of clay particles and very little sand, and silt is called as clayey soil. It holds lots of water, but water cannot flow through it. So there is very less air for the roots to breathe. Okay, so this is of clay soil. Next one we will be talking about loamy soil. The soil which is healthy mixture of sand, clay and silt and some organic matters is called loamy soil. So in this loamy soil, it is very fertile for the plants to grow. Okay, so these are the types of the soil that we discussed here. So humus makes soil fertile. Humus is nothing but your organic, dead organic material. So that is called humus. So these are the three types of soil that we have discussed today. As you all know, in our previous class, we learnt about the properties, each properties of it. So here you will be learning about each one in detail. Okay. So the next one you are going to learn is about the properties of soil. So when we talk about the properties of soil, each soil has different amount of sand, clay and silt. Based on this, the soil has different properties. So the first one will be soil texture. Okay, how the soil feels when you touch. Can you tell me how the soil feels when you touch? Yes, sometimes it will be a little muddy or sometimes it will be granular. So as you all know, the texture of the soil depends upon the particle, so in its quality. So some soils such as clayey soil are very smooth and others are sandy soil and rough. Okay, so this is of soil texture. Next one is soil structure. When we talk about soil structure, by the means of soil particles are arranged. That is how we are going to define. The structure of the soil depends on its particles and how the soil is formed. So clay soil are found to be blocky, sandy soil are to be columnar, and loamy soil are granular. So these are the structure of the soil. Based on the structure of the soil we are going to talk about. Okay, so next one is water holding capacity. When we talk about water holding capacity, it depends on the texture of the soil. Okay, the clay soil holds more water. Okay, but when you compare with other sandy soil or loamy soil. Okay, the consistency is very important. Sometimes it is differ from other soils too. Next one, based on the color of the soil. So the color of the soil depends on what it is made up of. Likewise, a dark brown color or a black indicates it has high in organic matter. So sandy soil is light brown. Clay soil appear to be white or dull gray. Okay, so and loamy soil is dark brown. Okay, so considering or by seeing the color of the soil, you can indicate the type of soil. Okay, so these are the topics that we have discussed here. So shall we recap it? The properties of the soil are based on soil texture, soil structure, water holding capacity and color of the soil. The next one we are going to discuss is about soil erosion. Here we are going to discuss many things, but for one thing I'll be telling you, how does a human's action increase soil erosion? Can you tell me? Yes, the first thing that comes in our mind is cutting down of trees. As you can see, when trees are cut, the soil is free to be blown away by the wind or get washed away due to the raining water. Okay, so due to running water, what you'll do? The topsoil will go away. So this will be the first thing of cutting down of trees. Second one is overgrazing of cattle. For example, when the farm animals eat grass from the same field every day, there won't be any grass left to hold the top layer of the soil together, and it gets washed away, right? So this will be the impact of human beings on soil. First one is cutting down of trees, overgrazing of trees. The next one we are going to discuss is how can we prevent the soil from erosion. As we see before, the first one was cutting down of trees. Instead of cutting down of trees, if we plant more trees, what happens here? Yes, obviously you can prevent the soil erosion. Next one is preventing overgrazing. So when we talk about overgrazing, we talk about the plants or the animals should not be staying in the same part, or rather you can take it to the different place for grazing. So this prevents overgrazing in the same field. Okay, so the next one, these are the things that we discussed here, and the next one is the important topic is soil pollution. So when we talk about soil pollution, soil naturally contains air, water, mineral particles and organic matter. But some human activities like harmful chemicals and waste materials are just alter the balance of the soil. So this affects the soil, making it unsuitable for growing crops. So this process of altering the balance of soil is called soil pollution. Now, what is the human purpose here that could affect the soil will be, first one is waste from, yes, of course, waste from factories. The first thing will be the waste from factories. So, the factories do not dispose of this waste safely. They often dump dirty water, use chemicals and oil waste directly on the land, right? So what happens? The waste piles up, it turns into the land into a degradable. Okay, so the dumping land is always waste from everything. The next one is yes, that is overcropping or overuse of fertilizers. That is growing the same crop over and over by using the same soil to destroy the balance of the nutrient and thereby decrease the soil quality. On top of that, using too many artificial fertilizers and pesticides pollutes the soil, causing soil pollution. So the next one will be, yes, that is construction activities. The area around the construction sites get polluted because of the construction wastes like cements, brick particles, etc. So making the soil unfit for growth of crops. So therefore, this is the another way of polluting the soil. The last one is littering. Littering is the process that has been done hugely nowadays. For example, when we throw a garbage in the open instead of dumping it in the dustbin, the soil absorbs the toxic and becomes polluted. So this is the one way of littering, that is the littering process that done by humans. So this is the soil pollution. So what are the ways to prevent the soil pollution? Can you tell me, students? Yes, of course, taking responsible for waste management and use of organic fertilizer and crop rotation. So this will be the two types that you can prevent soil pollution. So here let us come to the last part. So let us revise what you have learned today. The first one we learned is of types of soil, your clay soil, sandy soil and loamy soil. Next one, you learnt about the properties based on the soil texture, soil structure and water holding capacity, and the last one is your soil color. And the next part, you learnt about soil erosion, that was humans' impact that of cutting of trees and overgrazing of cattle. And the next one you have learnt is of soil pollution, and what would be the humans' impact of soil pollution, that are waste from factories, construction activities, overcropping and overuse of fertilizer, and the last one is littering. So you also learned how to prevent it. So these are the topics that we have discussed today. So thank you students for watching this video and being a part of this. Thank you students.